and we are back with the Umbraco Community Day and a very interesting topic coming up.
Yes.
And a very interesting speaker as well. Hey, Rory, nice to have you joining us.
Hello, and yes, it is great from sunny South Africa, coming to you. We don't have power here, so if you do see some sweat off me, it's because my aircon on top is not working, but I've got a nice generator here, and I've got studio lights just pounding. But you know what that's like, having studio lights just pound you and making you sweat. Also, with that YouTube issue, I'm quite sure that you both are sweating a little bit now also.
Yeah, just a little bit, but it's all good. I'm now looking forward to your talk. So you're going to be talking to us about, let me get this right, AI with accessibility testing and GitHub Co-Pilot?
Yes. Now, this topic was so interesting that the people who created the technology reached out to me and said, Rory, wait, what? And I've got a story where I've been an accessibility advocate for Microsoft for years now. And it occurred to me that I've been doing the same old stuff, and I've been presenting us. I presented at the United Nations, at the EU Parliament, at everyone and everything. And I said, okay, cool, manual, do this. And then this AI revolution came out, and now everything is automated. So I thought, get on the bandwagon right now and show them how easy it is to do accessibility using AI tools.
Wow. Well, that sounds incredibly interesting. Without further ado, take it away. I'm really keen to see this.
Absolutely.
Okay, so caveat. Most of the image you see there, when it has the DALL-E little sign at the bottom right-hand corner, I edited with the OpenAI DALL-E. I asked it to create it. You can see here, this is the opening slide that I have here, AI for accessibility. I have an Android holding someone who's in a wheelchair's hand, and this is really the title of my topic today, which is AI for accessibility. How can we leverage AI to really take advantage of, I don't even know what generation we are here with the Industrial Revolution. I think we're in the 5th generation, because we've kind of like jumped a few steps before. So I've got 42 minutes now to show you exactly my journey. You can follow me on @RoryPreddy, and let's start. So today,
it's a very 45 minutes.
Okay, 45 minutes. We've got a introduction. I'm going to show through some accessibility 101. I'm going to go through tools and testing, introduce you to my buddy GitHub Co-Pilot, and also the new service that was announced yesterday, Azure OpenAI with ChatGPT, and then I'm going to do a demo. So who here is worried about AI? So here's the sentence spectrum that basically says exactly what is AI good for. And at the top, you can see here, good for humanity and useless, really fun, but just a toy, entertaining, but no real use case. And at the bottom, then it starts to go to bad for humanity, just a statistical parrot, dangerous. And then as we progress to the other side is capable. And at the bottom, bad for humanity, AI will take your jobs, humans will be done, amplifies fake news, hate speech, etc. AI will enslave all of us. But also at the top, capable and good for humanity, humanity unlocks new human potential, and there are some useful applications. But I was really worried about the case where AI would take over humanity, because in my mind it's like first thing they're going to do is like open up their floodgates and say, who here has been good to AI? And I thought, maybe I should actually take advantage of the good grace of AI and show them that I'm doing something productive with it. So instead of me worrying about what AI is going to do as in the apocalypse, I decided to actually go ahead and take something that I hold dear to myself, accessibility, and make a difference. Now, I have achondroplasia, which is dwarfism. I'm a Caucasian male. I've got brown hair. I'm wearing an Azure t-shirt, and I bolt on a lot of my technologies or a lot of my fixes. You can see here, here's my midlife crisis, my BMW, and it's got the foot pedals on it to enable me to get where I want. I also make sure that, if I'm lecturing at a university or if I'm getting coffee, I can actually bolt on and get stuff done. The problem with bolt-on is that you give birth to something called the Hydra. The Hydra is a mythical creature, and every time you chop one of the heads of the Hydra off, it grows another one. And this is because just like every bug in software, the accessible Hydra, like we see here, is the same with software development. If you go in and you change and you bolt on that technology, no one else can drive my car. No one else, if I put a seat in front of that computer, can actually go and use that computer. And as a result, you get all these weird fails when it comes to accessible programming, because you can see here in this walkway, the last two stairs there, 3 stairs, were impossible for a wheelchaired individual to go up, though, because what they've done is they've bolted on that stairway to make it work. So I've given myself a challenge. I'm going to take AI and I'm going to go in and see if I can make AI accessible and speak around the world to show the incredible achievements that we've recently undertook to make it aid people to be accessible. So first, let's define accessibility. Now, Microsoft defines accessibility as the design of products and services so that everyone, including people with disabilities, can fully experience them. And we've got studies to show that once you do that and you do inclusive product and service design, you also include compliance, you increase your productivity and your innovation, because you take your mind out of that bolt-on mindset, and rather you look at exactly who you excluding, because we believe that disability is not a human health condition. Disability is a mismatched human interaction. Now, as part of my midlife crisis, I've recently lost 16 kilos, and I started my diet with keto, and I jumped on a scale and I put in my height, 120 centimeters or 4'1", my weight at the time, 65 kilos, and I jumped on the scale and it had a little AI there, and it gave me, it called me terrible names. And I felt terrible about that, because AI was supposed to help me through this process. It was supposed to help me lose weight. And it was one of the key drivers 5 years ago that I started speaking on accessibility, because I realized that the fourth industrial revolution was going to leave me behind. And now we've democratized, Microsoft has democratized AI with the advent of the Azure OpenAI service released yesterday. And it is created tools and testing methodologies that make accessibility programming easy. So let's go into the tools and testing here. You can see that nice little wizards, Kevin, that I created with Dolly. And there's a big move now to shift left, to design and build accessible from the start. So first, you've got your technologies and tools. Now we have an open tool technology called Accessibility Insights. It uses the XDQ, the gold standard rules engine, to identify rules that violate accessible requirements. So you've got your tools and technology, use accessibility insights. Then you bring in people with disabilities. These people are the best advocates to actually go in to engage with user engagements and design sprints. And we've got study after study that shows that they are the hardest working and most adamant when it comes to the highest level of quality when you do your accessible design processes. Then you go to your LE design spec reviews, you use toolkits and also PWB sessions. And lastly, you do rigorous testing, trusted testing, tested testers. And this is where I get a lot of eyebrows raising. How do I do rigorous testing? I'm going to show you an easy way today in the demo with the testing. So first, let me introduce you to the testing resources. So first, there's automated checks. You can go to accessibilityinsights.io. You can download our free Chrome and Edge plugins along with our Windows and Android tool sets there, and it allows you to create automated checks there on your website or on your Windows or Android app. And then you can take that exact same tool and you can run it in GitHub Actions or Azure pipelines, and you can run your CI/CD tests. So you can go to accessibilityinsights.io. But how do you bug bash for accessibility? First, you run Accessibility Insights manually, and it runs some automated checks, and it gives you a result of what you're supposed to do. You also use the app with the keyboard to actually go in and check that you can navigate. And these are part of the WCAG design principles that say, first, can you actually see what what you're trying to create? Can you navigate? Use the app at 400 zoom for visibility issues. And then finally, check the result with Azure OpenAI. Rory, how do you do that? I'm going to show you in the demo though, because Azure OpenAI and GitHub Co-Pilot can pick up changes you weren't even aware of. And this is what I'm going to show you. So let's jump into what you all came here for, which is Copilot and Chat GPT-3 and Azure API. So in 2019, we invested $1 billion in OpenAI to pursue the holy grail of artificial intelligence, to look at in mechanisms to actually democratize and give AI to everyone. 1 year later, we licensed OpenAI's groundbreaking GPT-3 text generation model, and we built it into GitHub Co-Pilot. Now, OpenAI has 2 different subdivisions. It has the for-profit section, and then has the non-profit section. So when you go into OpenAI to the GitHub repos, that's the non-profit, and GitHub Copilot is using the OpenAI's GPT-3 text generation that we've actually licensed. And it actually comes from June 2020. You can see there we've got the GPT-3 models. Then we've got DALL-E and Clip models. So Clip is sound clips that you can actually go in and render. 2021 customized models so you can fine tune. August 2021, we created the Codex models. At the same time, we've got LoRa, efficient fine tuning. And then GitHub Copilot on Azure OpenAI was launched in 2021. In November 2021, we have Azure OpenAI private preview. It is currently in a public preview, so you can sign up right now. I'm going to give you the link at the end of it. And then we've got embeddings and if models and GDP 3.5, Q1 2022, DALL-E release and Web GPT demo. Then we have Codex fine tuning, Azure OpenAI preview, and then December 2022, just recently, Azure OpenAI service was made generally available, and ChatGPT, the DaVinci 003, was made available, the most powerful service that we've released yet with OpenAI. So what is the Codex model? Here we are, we're coders, we're developers. So you can see here, this is the Azure OpenAI service, and what it does, it's just a coding buddy. It's a coding buddy that understands exactly what the context is that you're trying to write, gives you an option to go in and choose one of its recommended solutions, and then you can go in and import that code into your process. And how it does that, first of all, it uses the OpenAI Codex. All languages are supported. So I'm a Java developer. I'm going to be coding in HTML today, but you can do it C#, Python. It is excellent at Python because most of it was trained on Python, and you can work with most IDEs. I'm going to be using IntelliJ, JetBrains IntelliJ, but I've done demos with VS Code. You can do NeoVim and also Visual Studio. So you need to have a limited context of what you're going to search. Now, in our limited context, and the demo I'm going to do is an HTML file. It's going to read the HTML file. It's going to load it in there. It's going to create like an in-memory database of all of the stuff that it can access. And obviously, it's got more stuff that it has accessed outside of your context. And then it's going to make a suggestion or a number of suggestions that you can cycle through, and then deletes the context right after suggestions have been generated. So no one really is sneaking a peek at what you're trying to do. So it uses the context you provided, and it also gives you the ability to go in, so you can convert comments to code. You can just comment something, and I'm going to show you today. That's part of my demo. I'm going to create a comment, and then we're going to go in and convert it to code. You can autofill repetitive code. Over there, there's you just type in seconds, minutes, and it'll know what you're trying to do. And you can also show alternatives if you don't like what it's suggesting. So next, onto GPT-3. So it iterates over ideas quickly, incredibly quickly. So you prompt it, it has a sample response, and then you can refine with examples. So sometimes I've actually had a verbal chat with GPT-3, and I've said, no, do it that way. And it says, okay, I understand now, I'll do it a different way. So you can actually go in and train it to respond differently. So you've got a prompt and then the sample response. You can see here, turn game commentary into highlights. It's got the commentary, main highlights, and then we change it, the sample response there, according to what you want. And then finally, you can optimize the accuracy and latency and via the fine tuning. So that's all the slides I wanted to show you today. So how do we get them to work together? So GPT-3, prior to yesterday, GPT-3 was a separate technology from GitHub Copilot. It hadn't been released, and now it has. So perfect timing that I have there, because they are the same of the same family. You can see here they're fighting, but in truth, they love each other and they're part of the same service. So today I'm going to be using both to actually go in and show you how to design accessible programs and websites. So here's my demo. Remember all of those pages that you see there, all of those images that have the little DALL-E watermark at the bottom right hand. I actually went before the session and asked the DALL-E OpenAI service to go in and create it. So now we've got my window, my IDE window. First, I'm going to show you, I'm going to create, there we go. I clicked on there. So first, I'm going to go create some captions for a video, and I'm going to go include those captions in a HTML site. So I've got the Azure audio video indexer here, and I've put in one of my colleagues, and he's got a magnifier, a zoom video there, and I can go in there and I can go download those captions. So it took me, I actually did it just 5 minutes before this meeting there. You can download the closed captions, and you'll see there I've already downloaded the VTT file there. But more importantly, you can see here I can actually just switch on captions. I can go in, it's got English captions there. I can watch the captions if I wanted to. And if you see here, I can go in there and I can go auto scroll if it switches on here. There seems to be a problem. Please reload. Of course, there is a problem here because I am live demoing without electricity. So let's see exactly what happens here. So let's just refresh here and let's go into timeline. And it also allows you to do a lot of other features here. Of course, it's going to, let's try one more time and then we'll go back into our demo here. Okay. Definitely doesn't want to show the demo here, but you can see there the timeline. You can go and edit it. You can actually go in there, and if you don't like, for example, Balindu Shamu might have pronounced his name incorrectly, so you can go in there and edit it there, and it gives you insights into all of the actual videos. You can download the captions there, and I've downloaded the captions, and I've put them into an IntelliJ project, which I'm going to show you now. So let's start from the beginning. I have plenty of time here. So let's go into new project, and we've got our sample backup projects that I've already done. So new projects here, and I'm going to bring in that window here, and we're going to call this here Braco. Probably, hopefully don't want to butcher that name. And I want to do HTML5 boilerplate, and then I'm going to go create. It's going to go create. This is IntelliJ, my project. Now I want to use GitHub Co-Pilot. So how do I go in and use GitHub Co-Pilot? I can go, no, I don't want to do NPM. That'll take forever. I can go file, and I can go settings, and I can go into my plugins here. And you can see there I've installed GitHub Copilot. And it'll ask me to log in to GitHub, and this is linked to my Microsoft account. And you can get this costs about $10 a month, and you can get it on Teams or enterprise accounts or individuals. So I've got GitHub Copilot. It's running here. So if I go into the index.html that it's already defined here, you can see there that I can actually go in there and I can disable or log out from GitHub Copilot, and I can go in there and it's already given me some meta properties that are accessible. But I want to actually go in, and I've got a little script here, and I want to delete the Google Analytics script here. Let's go there because I don't want Google to know what I'm doing, and the p tag for that there. So a very basic page here. It doesn't really have anything. The first thing I want to do is I want to add that video file that I had there. So I'm going to create a, let's go into here, and let's go new and directory, and we're going to call this video. So on my video here, I'm going to go in and paste in the two files that we specified. So if I go into my file here, and then I can go download. So I can either go download the source video. So I can just download the source video, and it's only 30 megs. And then I can also download the captions. So I can go download the closed captions, and I want to go in and include the VTT file. And you can also include audio effects, include speakers. This is a new feature that they have there. You can actually include the speakers, so they can actually go, this is the speaker that's actually doing the specified captioning here. So I'm going to go download here. It's going to take a few seconds here, and then I'm going to go in and paste the magnifier samples. Now, while it's doing that, I can go into my IntelliJ, and I can say, okay, cool. I want to embed a video, and I've got a little prompt here. And can I please embed a video tag with the video called magnify sample video.mp4 and captions file called magnify sample video.vtt. And if I just hit enter here, it will go in there and say, okay, video equals to controls, and source equals to magnify sample.video, type equals empty video, track equals to there, and then video. Check that out. It knew what I was trying to do and also use the captions because I told it via the prompt that I was doing that. And it knew I was working in HTML, and it understands exactly what HTML is about. So let's go back into our files here, and let's just see. Okay, so it's in our download folder here. We want to go into downloads here, and we want to copy those. And let's go name, and we want to go magnifier. There we go, magnify sample video and sample video. Now I can just drag that into that video format there. And okay, we want to move. Yes, move to that directory there, and it's going to move those files. And now you can see if I open up that video there, it's got those files there, and then I can go in there and go video and / I think it's video / video /. Now I can test if this works by going into index.html, right clicking here and going run.html. And yeah, it's a bit big here. You can see it's a bit big, but I can go in and now it's embedded the file there. And now it's got my colleague's settings here, and I can also go in there and go, I don't want that. I want the picture in picture. It's make it a little bit big, but we'll go in and see exactly what the P tag is here. So I've added the captions here, and let's go back into IntelliJ. And then, so I've added the captions here, and also you can see the source lang label equals to English. Let's add the next of the accessible design for that. And we can see right at the end how I use ChatGPT to actually go in and check is everything fine. So the next thing I want to do is I want to go in and add a form tag, but I want to show you also the options for the form tag because there's a lot of actual forms that you're going to do. So I'm going to paste in this tag here, and over here, I'm going to go form tag with name, email, and message fields. And now it's got label for name. But if I go into here, I've got a GitHub Co-Pilot window here. And now it can actually show me everything that I'm going to do. You can see there, okay, it wants the label. And also it's going to do all of those form fields if I wanted to. And divs, it's going to, well, okay, no, I don't want that. I really don't want that. I just want the label there. So I'm going to go and close that off here. So you can actually go and cycle through it. Label for name, okay? So it's going to add a name, email, and message fields. Input text, and you can see their labels are accessible because it gives the people the ability to use the screen readers and see exactly what it is using. So I'm going to go input, name equals to text, label for email, and it wants to actually go in there. I need a message field, please. Label for email. Sometimes it does get a little bit confused, and I am in South Africa, so I do have the results of it here, just in case it does get a little bit confused here. So I'm going to just paste it in here. And you can see here, this is what it previously did for me. I've got the input here and the label, and then the submit button. And then I've got a return feature here that I said alert form. And this is an important concept because what I want to do is to create a JavaScript a little feature here. So I'm actually going to go in here and I'm going to go in and go script. And please, I'm going to tell it to please go in and create a JavaScript function to alert the form data. Check that out. JavaScript function to alert on the form data. I'm going to enter here, and look at that. It knew what I was wanting to do, so I can just go in there and just tab through that, and it will create that alert form here. Now I've got the alert form on my alert form here, so it should actually be working fine. let me just make sure I've done everything here, and script and HTML. So I've got my form field, I've got my video tags here. I just want to add one more thing for the video tag. I want to add an alternative text. So my screen reader can actually pick that up if I don't have text there. So alternative text for the video, and make sure that my video is in the right format. So that should be fine. And now I can go in there and I can right click on index.html and I can go run. I want to make sure, you know what? I didn't do the video small enough. That's why it didn't like it. So let's just add the video controls. I should have actually made that a little bit smaller. Let's right click on index.html. There's my page. And I can go in there and add captions if it behaves for that. Let me just make sure that I've got the captions file. Time equals to captions. And let's go ahead with that file either which way. Now, if I go into my name and I click on the name here and I click on that, I can hit on submit. And look, it alerts it because it understood what the JavaScript was trying to achieve with that that function that we did actually create. I want to just get the captions working one more time though, so I'm actually going to just paste over, and this is the rinse and repeat that you need to do sometimes with some of the features here. I just want to paste over here with the video tag here, and one more time, let's go in there and go run. I want to show you those captions there that we really have though, if they do come right. Else it just could be another feature that I'm not aware of though. Okay, so let's just go and then captioning here. And there must be a reason why it's not captioning, but it adds the VTT file for you, and you can actually go in and track source with that. The problem is that how do I know if this is accessible? So I go into my accessibility insights here. I click on FastPass, and you can see there I click on FastPass, and it says it doesn't have a document title, and also the haslang is not correct. So I can click on the visual helper, and it can go. I can go in there. Now I'm going to go back here, and so the lang needs to be done. So class equals there we go. It picked it up, and then I can go en. Okay, it's going to pick it up, and you can also go in there and create a title. So the title is there, Umbraco demo. Now go back into, let's go run that again here, run index.html. And I can go back into there and run FastPass again, or I can run this in GitHub Actions if I wanted to. And this Chrome add-in here is available in the Chrome App Store. So I can run FastPass, and then I want to just hit refresh here. I think I just need to hit refresh here again. And make sure it's saved. I'm so used to file saving because I come from a VS Code save all there. We've got the title and we've got that. So let's just go in and close it again. We want to close Accessibility Insights, automated checks, and the demo, and go in there and right click and go run. And check the FastPass here. And lang, please, as a valid value. So it didn't like one more thing here, value of lang attribute not included in the list of languages. And I can go in there and highlight visible, but I can also go see, and if you see here, the actual lang valid. I don't think I did a valid language here. Has lang, I'm not too sure exactly. There we go. That's my issue. I've just bought a new keyboard, so it sometimes gives an issue here. And I can right click in here and go run index and run the FastPass. And let's go into FastPass. See, you have to refresh here. So let's just hit refresh here and Umbraco demo and run FastPass. Look at that. And now I'm accessible. I've got my video captions files and also no instances, but I wanted to do the tab index. So if I go into here and I switch on tab index, and this is where ChatGPT comes in, I can actually go into tab stops. And I want to do the tab stop. I don't want the tab stop to actually stop on the image. That's a little bit silly. My tab index is done fine, but I want to actually take the file. Now watch this. This is going to blow your mind. I'm going to take that entire file here, and I'm going to go into a new window here. I've got my chat window, Chat GPT here, and I'm going to go and identify or help me with any accessibility issues with the following text. Yeah, I know, how cool. And then I'm going to go just paste that in there. Now it's going to tell me what I missed out. There are a few accessibility issues with the provided code. The form is missing a label for the message tag. Did we miss that? Oh, let me just go in there. I cannot believe I missed that. Yes, for message here, I don't actually have a message here, which is interesting. It picked up the message tag here. Let's go back in here. Action attribute. The video element is mentioning an alt tab. The track element is used for the video, and the script tag that triggers the alt form function is missing an ID. Now, what you're thinking is, oh my God, Rory, that is a lot of work. But ChatGPT, and this is the Azure service also, which I'm going to show you now how to sign up with it now, has a very interesting way to actually give you all of that without you having to go through some of the issues. So generate the code for the above fixes. I know, when I saw this, I thought, no, this can't be true. It's not going to actually go in. And this is the context of what it understands. It knows what it is trying to achieve, though. So ideally, this is going to work, though. There we go. Here's the updated code with the accessibility fixes. It goes in and scans everything that you couldn't even think of that would take you weeks to actually understand all of that, though. And then you can go in there, and we're going to go in and paste the code there. And sometimes it gets a little bit wrong, but most of it's right here. And then you can go in. You can see there. I've bird Twitter cage jokes. Follow me on Twitter. I did a joke the other day. So let's see exactly what it did. I have got the other project. It will take a few seconds to go through here. So let's go back into IntelliJ. I'm going to go File, Recent Projects, and I've got a backup here. And let's go this window. And now it went in here and created, you can see here, divs. It created tab indexes here, so ARIA labels and also tab indexes, and also it actually went in and created add event listeners instead of actually going on click, so it can actually go in there. And if I right click this file here, it works exactly the same as we did there. Hopefully the captions are working right now. Let's just go in there. There's my captions. I don't know why the other captions there. So English captions here, and there's the end result of here. It also added, you can see there, marked fields, and it added the captions there and the JavaScript. So what I've done here is I've shown you an easy way to actually use GitHub Copilot and also ChatGPT instead of just going in there and creating an essay for a lecturer. I've actually gone in there and shown you how to instead of creating murder bots that can actually help you. And you can see there it's busy typing it out there. It's adding the tab indexes here, ARIA required, label. And if I go back into my tab index and I go and I tab through it there, it's got everything that I need, though. So let's go back into the PowerPoint and from current slide. So I've shown you the demo. And now we've got some questions. I've also got, let's just go here. I wanted to actually create my taskbar to get rid of my taskbar. For some reason, it's doing my taskbar. I'm new to Windows, I know. I used a Mac for a very long time, but I've created a nice akka.ms ChatGPT window there that you can go in there, and we can take some questions there, because I'm sure you've got a lot of questions. And that is the question I really want you to ask. How do you sign up for Azure OpenAI? And via that link that I've given you there, you can. So I'm going to bring back my host there. I know that there's quite a lot of questions. We still got 10 minutes to go here, and then we can take in some questions from the actual studio. Okay, so it could be that we don't have any questions, or I've completely wowed them into the point that they didn't actually know. I'm going to go in and play around with a little bit ChatGPT and give you guys. There we go. You've come back to me now. Sorry about that. I realized that maybe you were off drinking some whiskey or something like that.
Whiskey, Rory. It's too early for that.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere. Somewhere. I wanted to actually go back to show you. Let's go into here. It's finished it there. And it says there, please note that sometimes it runs. Remember, this is the free preview. The Azure OpenAI service, you can go into here. You can go Azure. So let's go to aka.ms/ and you can, the link is chat GPT-3. And it will let you and take you through to sign up. It's a public preview for the Azure OpenAI service. So everything you see here, and this is 1 day old, and it gives you the ability to pre-train custom AI models, and you can use DALL-E and also GPT-3 that you have here. And we can go through and take a lot of questions, all for some of the services that I mentioned here. You can even go to resources, and it'll give you tutorials on how to go in and call some of those services. What is Azure OpenAI? Quick starts. You can do Python or REST or the Studio. Studio is incredible. We actually have a Studio landing page there with OpenAI that you can go in there and you can create a playground service here, exactly like you would see on some of the playgrounds for OpenAI. And there's the text Da Vinci, and it'll give you here the deployments and also the summarized text though. 1 day old, and you hear it directly from Umbraco.
That is really exciting. I did see this when it was announced yesterday, and a lot of people on Twitter were getting really excited about it. I've of course not yet had chance to get my hands on with and play with it, but from the docs there, this looks incredibly straightforward and powerful. Really powerful. Putting all
It's trained on
AI power at your fingertips.
170 billion parameters. Now GPT-4 is going to be on trillion parameters. So it is. They say it has the intelligence of a average SAT score in an American university. So basically, it's generalized intelligence.
Yeah. Wow. That's really quite a leap forward, isn't it? I know that people have been getting very excited playing with ChatGPT bot in recent times and helping them out with coding and everything. So yeah, you can only imagine
let's
goes
ask ChatGPT who is Umbraco. So if you can share my screen here.
Yes, absolutely. Let's do that.
There's been a bit of fun with this in
what is the and tell me if I'm spelling this right. Umbraco, is that correct?
That's
yes,
correct.
Umbraco,
yeah. Is the Umbraco CMS solution. Let's go see there. And let's go, and then it will go there. Is an open source content management solution built on the Microsoft.NET framework. It is designed to be a friendly. Now what we're doing here is great, but I'm going to do one step further. I'm going to ask it, give me sample code in C# to actually run on that though. And let's just see if we can actually do a little bit more than some of the people today. Generate sample C# code to run on Umbraco to call a weather service, a free, let's just say weather service, to call a weather service. This is optimistic.
We're going optimistic. I'd be very impressed if this works.
Yeah.
We're going a little bit off script here, but that's what we do. I'm a developer advocate for Microsoft. And we like to go with script here, but notice it's thinking here. Now the problem with this is a free preview, and with the free preview, you don't have the ability to actually leverage off larger applications though. So if it thinks too much, it's actually going to fail. Because I think there's 2 million people who are currently on this though. The Azure OpenAI service has a SLA. It's on preview right now, so there's an SLA, but when it goes and it launches, you get free networking. So you get networking access and enterprise grade support. I think I actually broke it. If you are using OpenAI service, I am sorry about that. You are broken here. So I think so yeah, let's wait for it to come back. Do you have any other questions?
So you were saying this new OpenAI service through Azure, is it effectively the same model, but it's a hosted managed service, and running on Azure scale for consumption by anyone that wants?
Highly optimized. So you can see here, this is not that optimized, and this is more of a, if you go into here, it says here is free research preview, meaning that they're looking at getting feedback from the services to try and make it better. And you can actually go in here, and then you can actually go cancel, and that's a new service that they actually did there though. So I think I did break it here, but you can see there it will eventually come back. Let's try and go there, generate an error code. So let's go in here, and instead of generate code, C# code to run on Umbraco, let's just take here to there's save and submit. Let's see if it likes that a little bit there. There is some tweaking. Now, what is our role as AI? We're wranglers, we're brokers when it comes to AI here. So we have to find out the exact kind of nuance that AI needs to hear, the language that we need to hear. You can see here, in my example here, I said generate the accessible requirements. I didn't say to it that it needs to be WCAG 2.1 compliant, but yeah, so it will eventually come back if it does here. I asked it a Twitter page joke here, and it says there, let's go here, generate, I did a crude joke, it doesn't do crude on Twitter, and how silly the bluebird is. So why did the bluebird cross the road? To get to the other side of the 140 character limit.
Very good.
So we can come back here. So it might not want to do C# with Umbraco right now.
Perhaps not.
Okay, so thanks everyone. I think we're almost out of time. Like I said, you can go to aka.ms/chatGPT3, and then you can follow me on Twitter. And thank you for your time. And shout out to Henk, my colleague who co-leads accessibility advocacy for the developer advocates at Microsoft.
Well, thank you, Rory. And yeah, what an amazing talk. A whirlwind through all the different AI options and the power that we've kind of unlocked in, well, just a couple of years, actually. It's really come a long way and become even more accessible for us, hasn't it?
And it's fun. Hey, I've created so many nice images, so many cheeky little jokes. It's just fun.
Yeah, well, that's amazing. Well,
accessibility is a topic that is very dear to the community at Umbraco, I feel.
Oh, absolutely. So
it is
Rory, you may not be aware
here.
that a few years ago, a team of members in the community, they set out to make the Umbraco CMS the most accessible CMS as possible. So that's, making sure it's screen reader friendly directly within the back office. It's also trying to make sure that even things like colors and those sorts of things used in the products are as friendly as possible to people that may have visual impairments. And so there's a real effort there. There is a community team that's working to do that. There's several pull requests every month being made to the CMS to improve accessibility. And I think people have found it's a great way to even get started or get involved with contributing to the open source project, because they've got a really nice big backlog of well-documented issues that just need fixing in the CMS. And so it's definitely
they can just use ChatGPT and things. So share my screen again. I want to show you. I realize now the reason it didn't like what I did. I said C# code, and I didn't say Umbraco CMS. So here's some sample code that can be used in a custom page on Umbraco CMS website. I didn't say CMS, and Umbraco is a hierarchy of products. But now I've got my sample code here, and I can actually do that. And I can even say, go in here to call a weather service if I wanted to call an open weather service.
So this is very interesting. If we're doing a sort of live code review a second. So this code sample that it's generated was using an application event handler, which is not something that is used in Umbraco anymore. However, what it's about to do now is quite interesting. It's creating a controller. So this is a little bit more along the lines of what you're after. It's a surface controller. That's sort of how.
And it's going to create an open weather to call an open weather service, because in South Africa it's got the best weather here. So and then it will tell you exactly in the get weather action. You can use the web client class to get a get request to the open weather API, and then
Really
it'll
clever.
actually tell you how to call the open weather API.
Wow, that's really impressive.
That is impressive.
A couple of little quirks in here that we wouldn't probably do in in the real world, but
Or
this
no,
is
you can tell
almost
it.
bang
Yeah.
on.
You can actually reprimand it. You can say, don't use
Ooh.
that.
Oh,
Remember,
go
it's got
on.
a context. So I can go back and go, given the above that you did, don't use that method,
Can we
that
tell it?
methodology.
Can we tell it to use HTTP client instead of web client?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I'd be very interested. This is
generate
almost bang on. This
the
is
above code,
I
but
like how it is
use
like step by step.
and explaining it
Yeah,
as it
exactly.
goes.
Yeah.
HTTP client. Sorry,
Yes.
what did you say?
Yeah.
Yes.
HTTP client.
In HTTPS client.
The
No,
HTTP
HTTP
client, just as you had it.
Okay. HTTP client instead
Of
of
client.
web client.
Yep. So HTTP client is the sort of modern equivalent in
Look at this.
ASP.NET Core that
yeah.
people would use. So it's creating its controller now. It's got the service controller again.
Yeah.
That's bang on. Oh, it's asynced it. That's
Yeah.
fantastic. Still not quite perfect because it should be disposing of the HTTP client when it's done, but I'm not going to be that fussy on this. This is
You tell
really,
it,
really
hey?
good.
It's not injecting it either.
Loud shouting fits with this though. But with accessibility, and it's accessibility, remember, you don't want to have a bolt-on right at the end though. You can go in there and you can say, fix the bugs in this code. It is mind-blowing that we've hit this level of revolution in a few days. And now you've got Azure OpenAI service, which you can scale, which you have security with networking and an SLA linked to it. And now you can roll it out into every single customer, client, and enterprise around the world.
That's truly powerful. A colleague of mine the other day converted some SAS from legacy SAS to SCSS formats using ChatGPT, and it worked surprisingly. It's truly impressive. So thank you for showing this. It's quite inspiring. Let's see. Will it say goodbye and make it a poem? Farewell, Zilla and Bracco team. Our time together has been a dream. Creating websites with ease. Your CMS has made it all seem. With templates and media galore, designing and publishing evermore. The user-friendly interface has made our work feel like a breeze. From developers to the designers, all have been truly inspired. Your hard work and dedication will forever be admired. Though our time may now be done, our memories will always be fond. Thank you for all you've done, and Bracco team, you'll forever be in our hearts beyond. Sounds like it's dying. That's a shame. But that's a very beautiful poem. Wow. Thank you so much, Rory. It's been great to chat.
It's been great to chat.
See you around.
See you.
Wow.
Cheers, everyone.
Everybody in the chat, let us know what you thought of that. There's clearly some people who were very impressed there. Let's have a little look through what's been going on whilst we've been gone. And welcome back, people who've suddenly found us again, because this is we're on our second stream of the day. I cannot make this mouse work. There we go. A lot of people saying thank you to Niels. Niels' session was really excellent, wasn't it? We have, let's keep going. Was the giveaway for shirts already? No, we've not given any shirts away yet. Do not worry. We'll sort that out soon.
Sort that, yeah.
So a lot of people saying how impressive ChatGPT was. Yes, Jason Elkin, of course, you're right. We should be injecting the HTTP client factory.
Yeah.
I think the code might have been for the V8 though, because or prior, because it was using
HTTP client.
No, well, the application event handlers, which
that was V7, isn't it?
Haven't existed for a long time, and it was trained back in 2021, I think, the data. So it probably doesn't know about V9 all that much. Sapphal saying yes, it's going to make us redundant. I don't think so. No. I think it means we can just do more exciting things. Don't you? We can work on different stuff.
So when ChatGPT came out, the first thing I looked was whether does it have an API? Because developers, we are excited about APIs. So now that Rory has shown us the OpenAI, which is in public preview, I think it's going to take some time, obviously, to get it into GA. But I am pretty sure days are not far off when someone builds a package which cleverly integrates OpenAI to the back office.
It would be fantastic. Yeah. And I mean, speaking of, I'll help the Umbraco Spark team out here a little bit. It would be an awesome thing to talk about now that the OpenAI service from Microsoft's available. Umbraco Spark's CFP is still open for another
Yes.
couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So is the Code Garden one.
Yeah.
It's a perfect opportunity for someone to demo something like
Yeah,
this.
absolutely.
And though, especially Spark, it's a more innovation-focused event.
Yeah.
So perhaps this would be a good
Yeah,
good
even
fit.
if you have an idea, which is something that you've been thinking of, you've made a starting point to it, you can present about that. There would be slots open. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Spark is open to all the innovative new ideas.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, what an inspiring talk that was
It
from
was.
Rory.
Yeah.
So we've got a fantastic set of talks coming up. We're about halfway through the day. You wouldn't believe it.
Yeah. Time flies.
Time really does
Yeah.
fly. But we've got so much more to come. Coming up in a second, we're going to have talks from Cornet, who's going to talk about using Discord as a way of kind of interacting with Umbraco and building a chatbot there. We've got Roy, who's going to do a talk on headless and MVC and how you would do that. I don't know if that's Umbraco hardcore headless. I think it's more like building a headless Umbraco solution yourself, which is equally exciting.
Yes.
We've got Full Seal coming up, containers, more talks from Microsoft, another accessibility focused talk.
Yes, absolutely. And another fresh face as well.
Indeed, yes. So Jacqueline's going to be here. She's going to be doing a great talk about some of the automated tools you can use for AI and automating testing of your website, fixing those bugs.
We at Umbraco love accessibility.
We do. We really do.
There's one point I wanted to cover on that grounds, because when the accessibility team started working on the back office, trying to make it more accessible, I think there was an increased awareness of accessibility in general within the community itself, isn't it?
Yeah, I agree. The community definitely became more aware. There's been more talks about it. I think back in I'd like to say this started as an open circle discussion at Code Garden. It might have been something else.
Was it a forum discussion?
It could well have been.
Yeah,
I know people
so.
like Mike Macy, Rachel Breeze, Danny, Tiffany. I'm sure there's more. Niels Lingso, who we had on just a short while ago. They've all been working really hard. Matt Wise, many others. I'm sorry if I've forgotten anyone. Been working really hard to make that possible. If you remember a couple of, I think it was in 2020, maybe 2021, there was an event even. There was a it was a Global Accessibility Awareness Day. UGAD event. It was like an Umbraco focus accessibility event, which is unbelievable. You couldn't have imagined a couple of years ago that actually
exactly an entire day where you could learn everything about accessibility and what you need to learn from going from. You don't have some knowledge about it, that's fine. We can help you reach there.
Yeah,
that's the
100%,
that's the deal of the day.
100%. It's definitely becoming more and more prevalent in the world.
Yeah,
which is great. So yeah, more exciting stuff coming. Of course, we're wrapping up our day today with a talk I'm particularly excited about. We have Mads Torgersen joining us. He'll be talking about C# 11, the new features you can be using if you're currently using, say, Umbraco 11 or running .NET 7 with your Umbraco 9 and beyond projects. A lot of power that's going to be able to be unlocked in that as well. So yeah, should be pretty good. I don't know what time it is. Oh,
6 minutes ago.
Still got plenty of time before the next talk, and that's good because we can talk a little bit about other things that are going on in the community, maybe stuff we're excited about. We've mentioned Netcore quite a lot.
Yes.
We've had 11 come out now. We've got 11.1. But it feels like we're finally getting to a point where the product is in a good place, a happy place. I tweeted the other day that the concept, what's it called? The iFile system stuff in Umbraco, which has been maybe a little bit contentious. I know James South had some words to say about it, maybe needing to be replaced at some point. Wasn't too happy with how that how it was implemented. In .NET Core, there is this concept of an iFile system provider. And the iFiles and how all of that works. And that's probably the new way of doing abstract file system concepts in .NET. And I was so thrilled to learn on Tuesday that it's in the core. So even though Umbraco aren't using that or exposing that to their users, the actual core product has been updated so that that's an option if you want it to be. And it gives us as implementers far more flexibility to be able to do great things like use the latest .NET tools or
Yeah,
libraries or whatever.
absolutely. Other thing that I want to pick up and continue from this thread is there are real gems in that source code.
Hmm.
Yeah. So this is where being open source comes into real power and real handy as well. You go through the source code, spend some time on it, you start uncovering some of the gems that
Yeah.
are in there.
Yeah, we were talking about this
Yeah.
actually on our walk over here yesterday. That it's really exciting how you can, if you just pull out a string in the source, you can eventually work out how some quite cool
Yeah.
things are done, and people like it as a reference point to be able to see, how they may implement something in their own projects.
Yeah.
I know for sure. I look at people's package code, or I look at
I do that.
at other open source libraries to work things out.
Yeah.
And it allows us, I think, in my case, to, when we're implementing solutions, to go that extra mile, make something that's
Mhm.
a extra bit special for our users potentially, or for just creating that tighter, cleaner integration, maybe even better code as a result, more future-proof code even.
Yeah.
Um,
I've done that with Umbraco. I've done that with Blazor as well because I wanted to study something about how the Blazor router works because there's no written article about it.
yeah,
So you can actually go into the source code and work it all out. Okay, this is how it works. And then the joy of learning something new from that. Okay, that is how.
exactly.
Yes.
It's, I said this to you as well yesterday about, I've done my Umbraco Anywhere content, which gave me an opportunity to play with Maui.
Maui,
And
yeah.
I'm not an app developer. I would never have built an app
No,
myself,
me.
but it proved that I can do Umbraco, and I can use Umbraco in a context that I'm not necessarily hugely familiar with, but
Yeah.
it still works. And
Yes.
it's still the same APIs and all the friendly things that I'm used to, that I love working with.
Yeah. I haven't done Maui to the extent that you did, but you can integrate that with Umbraco APIs as well if you need,
Mhm.
which is something that Xamarin app developers have already been doing in the Umbraco
Yep.
community as well. So it is fantastic how being in the .NET realm gives us all that flexibility that we need to play around with Umbraco and do all the crazy things that
Yeah.
we've seen as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think we're a couple of minutes early, but I think our next speaker is actually ready. So maybe we
Yes.
should roll the titles and
And
go over to our next speaker.